Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 319, recorded live on August 12th, 2025. And on this episode, we are recapping all of the video game events that we missed over this last month of taking a break. My name is Steve, and so glad to be back with you guys. And of course, joining me is Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing? It's been a little while.
It's been a long while. Been very busy, been very eventful 6 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever it's been. But it's great to be back.
Yeah, Greg, how are you?
I'm kind of hanging in there. So lots of different news for me, including no longer having my day job and stuff. But and my brother's wedding in Vegas was absolutely fantastic. So we had a lot of fun there. But um, lots of changes going on over here, and lots of news to talk about. And just really excited to be able to take a break from the other stuff to discuss some games with you guys.
Nice, nice. So if you're hiring, hire Greg. Um, so, yeah, as we said, been so much that we have yet to cover over the last 6 or so weeks of taking a little bit of a summer break. I think was the last episode we covered a good chunk, if not all, this early summer events. And then there's some other events that happened, and the Nintendo news didn't stop just because we took a break. So we're going to cover the rest of that tonight. Try to give everything at least somewhat adequate attention. But yeah, if you haven't done so, check out our Discord because we have threads and conversations going on all these different events, and you can see all the different details and chat with everybody else in our community over on our Discord. But also make sure you follow us on social media as well. All those links are going to be in the show notes or the YouTube description. And speaking of YouTube, if you haven't checked us out live, we're recording this live, and our video version will be on our YouTube channel, or you can subscribe on your favorite podcast app for the audio version as well. So you keep getting these every time we release them. We record live every other Tuesday. Typically, we've taken a break a little bit for the last few weeks, like we said, but typically every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And we'd love for you guys to join us live if you can. But if not, that's why we have the archive version on our YouTube channel and also all the podcast apps as well. So you can subscribe and share it with other Nintendo gamers in your life as well. But we've, like we said, we've had a few weeks off, so I know those gaming lists of what we've been playing has probably a little longer than usual. Mine is not that much because I've been so busy with other things that are not involved video games. But I have some different games on my list this time because of all that. But I'll get into that in just a second. We'll let Greg, you kick it off with what games you've been playing lately.
Yeah, so pretty busy on the Switch 2 this time around. It's some Mario Kart World. Had some of my wife's friends over, I think a handful of times over the our extended break, and so it's just kind of fun playing some of the standard local multiplayer. So it's always fun to whip out a good game of Mario Kart there. Um, I did pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza, and pretty much as of this recording, I actually have pretty much 100%ed it. I'm just like a 7 or 8 bananas short. Just need some more of those chip things to get the last few, but essentially the entire story mode and all the main bananas that you find in the game are all complete. So maybe we might do a game chat or something about that later to discuss all my thoughts on the game, along with Split Fiction, which will be an upcoming game chat that I will also be diving more into at a future game chat episode as well. Still on the mobile side, been playing the standard Roblox suite of games like the Adopt Me game and the Dandy's World at Grow Garden, 99, 99 Nights in the Forest. That's somewhat of like a newer one that my daughter's really into. Pretty much like you're set out to survive in the forest, and obviously you would just try to make to day 99. So there's like some kids that are kind of locked in like a little house like in the forest. You got to find all four of them over the time frame, and then you can get like attacked by like some like cultist members and weird like deer thing. It's kind of unusual premise there, but pretty much you get like an axe and you gotta keep a fire going, and there's like events like rain that kind of put out the fire, and then when the fire's out, then you're more likely to get attacked by those various different things. So it's kind of like a survival type game, and it's was having a lot of fun with it. And then still on the mobile side, also on the mobile side, still playing the Cookie Run Kingdom that my daughter got me hooked on. It's essentially like whatever, somewhat of like a Fire Emblem-esque type game where there's tons of leveling. You have to level up all the skills, all the different cookie characters that you can collect, and there's like different skill classes and trees and stuff that you expand upon. And then there's also the building mode that you are pretty much free to design your own kind of kingdom with a bunch of different decorations and buildings and other things like that. And you can produce different materials to further explore and complete other objectives and quests. And so it's a lot of stuff all in one package there. So it's like a RPG style game along with like a builder type game like Animal Crossing. So having a lot of fun with that one so far, and that's pretty much all I've been up to the last month or so.
Nice. Jakster's joining us in the chat and said hi. Hey, Jakester. Yeah, if you guys are also joining us in the chat, be sure to say hi and interact with us throughout the show. Let us know what you guys have been playing as well. Barry, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I wish I could say my list was shorter, but I've been doing a lot of stuff despite everything going on, including wrestling a little toddler who was very much active. On the Switch, I'm still doing Pokemon Unite daily and a lot of Asphalt Legends Unite. My son loves it. He loves watching it. So I'm almost done with the career mode. And if you know that game, that career mode is insanely long. Lots of events, lots of stuff. Just having a lot of fun with it. It is a good game. But boy, do they want to milk you of money. Uh, Booted up Pokemon Scarlet to get my free stuff because they did some raids and gave some free Pokemon away. So got to get free Pokemon. For game chats, upcoming game chats, played a game called Noctuary. It is described as a visual novel action RPG. So it's pretty interesting. So stay tuned for that. Also played some Tori 2, Panic Pack, and Saturn, which just came out last week, I believe. So look forward to a game chat on those platforms. They're great platformers and they're very, very cheap. So if you like platforming games, you'll probably love them. Played some Flora and Fang. This is a like an arcade style Donkey Kong 3 style game that we have a game chat going up soon as recorded. So I don't know if Tristan got it to you yet, but he's got to edit it. And another game chat on the way called Ion Shift, where you're a creature taking over bodies in this space station or this ship, and you're trying to dodge Gatling guns and turrets and other troops and make your way around. And it's really a lot of fun. It's arcadey, but it's quite challenging, some of the puzzles. Also did Tetris 99 because they had a Donkey Kong theme, so I had to go get that for free. Played a game that I had never heard of before. It looked interesting, called Proto Droid Delta. This is like a 3D Mega Man. It was very cheap. It was on sale, and it was fun, but it also kind of gave me motion sickness. So
Mm.
I only got a little bit into it, but definitely if you like Mega Man and you don't get motion sick and you like you don't want to see what it'd be like in 3D, it's not bad. The game I'm currently playing as of right now is the 100 Line Last Defense Academy, and I'm halfway through the first playthrough. From what I understand, there's lots of endings, and this is from the creator of Danganronpa, so the story is definitely getting crazy, which I love. What I don't love is what Greg would absolutely love about this game is it's a strategy RPG. So it's like Fire Emblem. It's Danganronpa, but instead of like Phoenix Wright course cases, it's Fire Emblem. It's defense battles, and it's strategy RPG, but with like a lot of units you get with a lot of different things. You can upgrade skills. It's really in depth. But thankfully there's an easier mode where the unit's health replenishes after every turn, so it makes it a little more forgiving. But there are difficulty modes where you can make it a little more challenging. But yeah, I'm having a blast with it. I'm so glad that I finally had the time to sit down and play it, and I can't wait to finish it. Meanwhile, on the Switch 2, for game chats, playing Yakuza 0 Director's Cut and messing around with that. And as Greg mentioned, Split Fiction. I also played The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales debut demo. I did not finish the demo. I played enough to know for certain that I absolutely want the game, and that was enough for me because I was just teased because the game's not coming out till next year. So it's good enough for me. I'm very excited for it. So I had to play that. Also played through Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, the Switch 2 edition. What a phenomenal game. I know when this was shown off, I know Steve was even interested in it. And it is. This is, if you enjoy Zelda and you enjoy Japanese culture, then this is a game you absolutely need to play. And if you're worried about the farming, this game does, like, the quality of life makes it so easy. They first off, they made it so when you're gardening and farming, time stops. So you no longer have to worry about, oh, I spent my entire day gardening and getting my crops. Now I don't have time to adventure. Number two, they got rid of the stamina meter. So no longer does it like watering your crops and picking your like is you have villagers, you like build up, you could do like a whole city builder like Animal Crossing. Um, and you get villagers and you can assign jobs and you can make them farm for you. So if that's really daunting you, you don't even have to touch it. You can just assign villagers to do it and just go on Zelda adventures. It's like Wind Waker, all these islands in the sky you can fly to. It's awesome. So if you like Zelda, I highly recommend Rune Factory. As Greg said, Donkey Kong Bonanza went through. I 100%ed it outside of like destroyed all the material in every area, like so much gold, so much clay. That wasn't worth grinding for. I did everything else though. And then after Donkey Kong, I did No Sleep for Konami Date from AI, the Somnium Files, a game I was very, very excited for. And a game I did relatively quickly. It's shorter than the other AI games, and it's really I thought it was AI 3, so I was a little disappointed to find out it's actually AI 1.5. It's like set in between the two games, and it's definitely a more low key story. Like there wasn't a big shoe drop moment that I was expecting. But it was a fun story, and it mixed the gameplay of AI and the gameplay of Zero Escape, which so you have escape rooms and you have, somnium going into the brains of people, and you have some other puzzles, and the puzzles were top notch. And they all connected to each other, which was really cool. So you learn something in the somnium, and then actually helps you in an escape game. Thought that was a really neat connection. If you love AI, you've already played this or you're planning to play it. It was a nice little kind of step over till the next true game, but I had a lot of fun with it. A game that I'd like to say I had a lot of fun with, Shadow Labyrinth Switch 2 edition. I played through that, and I had a lot of fun with it overall. But because it's Pac-Man themed, they had to shoehorn in Pac-Man mazes, which is fine if it's Pac-Man mazes, but it's Pac-Man maze-like segments where you have a timer and you've got to eat so many ghosts and all this crazy. You're platforming, and when you're actually Pac-Man and you jump like in an arc, and you can't control the arc. So if you miss where you need to land and you fall all the way back down, and they stunk, but the whole game outside of one, it was mandatory. Everything else was optional until the very end of the game when you have to do four of these to get to the final boss. And I said, screw that. I got as far as I'm getting. I got right to I'm just done. Like, do not force me to do these terrible things. And then I looked at reviews, and a lot of people felt the same thing. They loved the Metroidvania aspect of it. They absolutely hated these mazes. They were shoehorned in because it's Pac-Man. So I got to the end of the game. I didn't beat it. I wasted like, I don't know, 40 hours on it or whatever, and I had fun, but I don't have another conclusion of this weird story that it is, which doesn't have anything to do with the Amazon episode of Next Level. But I did it. So and then on the PC side, I'm still doing Final Fantasy 14. 7.3 just dropped. And on mobile, Mario Kart Tour, the New York Times games, LinkedIn games, Pokemon TCG Pockets, and lately added Pokemon Friends to my daily stuff.
Hmm. Nice.
Which I love brain puzzles. I got to keep my mind sharp.
Fun. Yeah, so Jakester, let's see, he's in the chat and said that he just finished Donkey Kong Bonanza the other day. Amazing game. Tried out Drag and Drive. What a drag. And now in the post game of Xeno X Definitive Edition, and played an indie game called Blue Fire that I had some enjoyment out of, but would like to see a sequel for us to see improvements. So cool. I don't think I've heard of Blue Fire unless it was like featured in a brief indie direct or something like that, and that's about it.
It
But
came out like 2018.
oh, okay, it's been a while. Nice. Well, I picked up my first Switch actual cartridge game. That was right after I didn't go for the 1 terabyte card, but I picked up a 512 card, which is considerably cheaper. This is a SanDisk card that I found at Walmart that is significantly cheaper than the other brand that's on Amazon. So if you're looking for, couldn't find the 1 terabyte card, Greg finally got it. But if you are not willing to wait for that, and when it's finally up, or Walmart at least is selling an actual SanDisk one, not a Walmart branded one, for 512, and I haven't had time to put it in my Switch yet.
Me neither.
Because it's such a pain to switch over from SD cards to SD cards. Like, I don't have the time to do this. But at least it's not as bad as it was on Switch when, after you've had it for like 7 years and you're trying to transfer all those games over. Switch 2 should be a little faster, but still, I haven't needed it because most of what I've been playing over the last couple of weeks, actually just this last week, was Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I picked it up while I was traveling because I go back and forth, and you guys know, and you're probably shocked to actually see that I've been playing the game, because the last thing that you guys probably heard was, probably not going to get it. But after playing the demos and seeing other people talk about it and all this other stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna get this game, and yeah, that's what I've been playing
Did you
over
did
this
you
last week.
quickly switch B and A? Because
Oh yeah, yeah,
after you said that about the demo, I
yeah,
checked and I saw that. I'm like, oh, Steve will be happy.
yeah. And that was one of the big things when I saw that you could switch it, and I was like, okay, that would be fun, and yeah, and hearing all everybody's reviews and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I know this would be fun, and one of the biggest things is I wasn't expecting how much gameplay you're in this. I mean, it's a fairly linear game, but within these open worlds that you can explore. And man, I had to stop myself, very similar to Zelda. I had to stop myself from just going out and exploring and destroying things and actually staying on the path to like finish the game, because it's really easy to get sidetracked in this game. But yeah, I've been playing that and not playing a couple of the other games that I was supposed to be playing for game chats, because I like how you can really hop in and out of this game. Even though it's very involved, you can hop in, play a little bit, go out. But like Split Fiction and Yakuza, I feel like I need to immerse myself in it, in which I haven't had the time over the last few weeks to do that. So yeah, it's just been Donkey Kong Bonanza as far as what I've been playing on the Switch too. I downloaded another demo that we'll talk about later. I forget what it was, but I haven't even touched it because I've just been playing Donkey Kong. I played like, I don't know, maybe a total of 30 minutes of Rocket League over the last month and a half. Played some Clash Royale and Pokemon TCG Pocket. Also been playing Pokemon Friends. I was daily as soon as it launched for like the first 2 weeks, something like that, a week and a half. And then I lost interest. And so now I'm just kind of like, I'll play it if I have nothing else to do, which is not very often. But yeah, it was fun for a little while, and I did lose. I lost interest pretty
See,
quick.
I found the first week or two to be like, all right, this is really easy. Like these puzzles are really easy. But now where I'm at, like they're challenging. Like I've run out of time before.
Hmm.
I've sat there go like, how do you even solve this? Like on some like the rotating puzzles.
Yeah,
So now it's challenging me. Like I
yeah,
feel like the game has to build you to that point, but once you get to
sure.
that point, it's challenging.
Yeah, I think it was a solid 2 weeks of playing before I finally hit one that I failed, and or ran out of time or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely true. And it's so quick. I mean, most of them,
Yeah.
like, you can play like daily, and I have no interest in buying the pack to
Oh
like
no.
let me replay these games. I'm like, there's no point. I don't get anything. Why would I want to replay them? And I feel like it would be cool if you could share your top scores or whatever with other friends and things like that, because it's called Pokemon Friends. But you don't play with your real friends. You play with these fake
No.
friends, which is weird. But again, we'll get
Yeah,
into that when we talk about Pokemon Presents. But
good point.
and then what else have I doing? I've been basically like I brought my Switch 2 along with all my travels and stuff like that. But I played a little bit of a Donkey Kong as I was traveling. Most of that has been playing as I got back. But I've been playing a lot more mobile games recently. So you know those games that you guys have probably seen them advertised all the time, like called Last Z or Last War, where you're like going back and forth and
Oh,
everything. The stupid
it's fake.
advertisements finally got me.
It's fake.
Well, you'd think it's fake. That's why I finally was like, oh, I'm going to download this. It's not fake. Like, I'm having a blast with these games. They're all basically the same game, though. And it's so funny because I played one for a while and was like, I'm going to download the other one and try it. They're basically the same. They're just skinned a little differently, and they're like you go about things, but it's basically the same kind of game. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been pretty fun. And then I don't know if you guys, but the rest, like a lot of big part of the world got into Ryan Trahan's 50 States in 50 Days. And so I was like traveling and watching all his videos and stuff like that. And Staple Games was a big donor for that whole thing. And so I downloaded a few of the Staple Games mobile games. So like Match Collector and Word Gems and Word Blocks. And so mostly a Match Collector is like a match 3 kind of game, and so they're all very 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 simple kind of games, but I downloaded because they're like giving $1 to St. Jude every time you download their game. I was like, sure, I'll download some of your free games to make you give $1 for a good cause. So Match Collector is the one I played more of, but Word Gems is kind of fun, and Wood Blocks is a little fun too. It's like kind of a Tetris style game, but instead of falling, you just put them in the blocks. So, but yeah, that's what I've been playing a lot of recently. Let's see, anything going on in the chat? Mr. Jakester just mentioned my name. I got to read what he said, and like I talked about it on Discord, but playing drag and drive made me want to play Rocket League with me. Yes. I noticed that none of us said drag and drive because the demo or the whatever thing was over this weekend.
Global Jam.
Yeah. I downloaded it. I had intentions to try it out on Saturday night, and then it didn't happen. So yeah.
I was gonna play it, but that meant I had to get my Joy-Con 2s off of the Switch to do the mouse thing, and I was lazy.
Nice.
I just totally missed the event thing. I was just kind of haven't really been interested too much into Drag and Drive at all. Like that, even the initial announcements, I was just like, this is a easy pass for me. But I guess I could have easily checked out a free demo, but I don't really think that would have really drastically changed my opinion on it if I already get the concept of it and doesn't seem interesting to me.
Yeah.
Drag and Drive, I think, needs to be free for NSO members at this point. I think because I think it's $20, and from everything I heard, it's not worth $20. So I think it needs to be free for NSO as like an incentive.
Yeah. I did not want it before, and I was like, I'm going to try it, and then I totally forgot, and I really wasn't bummed. I watched people playing it online. I was like, you know what? I'll see what other people and thought about this game. And I watched one person, and they were working so hard during this game, and also just being horrible. Like people like Rocket League, Rematch, other games like that where you play one player and you're playing with others. Like you've got to be paired up with people who actually want to play the game well. Because for the most part, people are just being ball hogs and they're just doing whatever they want on there. And so I just watched this guy just doing this the whole time, and I was like, I don't play games for that purpose. I want to enjoy myself and not have to just like work the whole time. And Wii games were like a little different story because it was fun. You like to swing at the bat or swing at the ball and things like that. But this was just like way too much work and way too much effort for such a simple concept. So I think if nothing else, it just secured in my mind, I'm going to skip this game.
So if they do make it free for NSO, would you try it?
I'd try it for about maybe a full game, maybe 2. So equivalent of maybe 10 minutes.
Worth it.
Yeah, enough to download it, try it, and then get it off my storage so I can make room
Question
for
is,
other
do you
things.
think they would do that if the response from this is negative? Do you think they'll be like, "Hey, we made this game, we got to launch it. It's not going to do well. Let's do that as like a free incentive." Do you think they'll do that?
No, no,
Doubtful.
no. I mean, they had other opportunities to do stuff like that in the past, and they've never done it. So yeah, I doubt it. I mean,
And what if they had pro controller support, like Jake's just said?
it still looks not fun. Like bring over rematch instead. Like that kind of a soccer game looks more fun than this. It just looks it's just not, I don't know. And I don't like, honestly, like, okay, here's a question. For any of our viewers or listeners that are in a wheelchair, please let us know. I'm curious. Is that I don't know. This feels like it could be offensive, even. Like I feel like they're trying to include people, but I'm like, I don't know if it's painting that in a good light, because it looks like a game that's like trying to appeal to people who are wheelchair bound, but it looks boring as heck and not fun at all. And so
I
it's like a throwing them a bone, but then in turn, because it's actually not a good game, it ends up painting it in a bad light potentially.
I think you're reading way too much into this. I think they looked at the mouse controller and said, "How could we implement this?" And someone said, "Hey, doing this on the table, like rolling it, is like moving a wheelchair. Hey, let's make a game around that. What could we do?" I don't think they thought anything about inclusiveness or catering to a market. I just think they wanted some kind of gimmick to showcase the mouse controller, and that's what they came up with.
I agree. And that's why I think it's really interesting, because it's like it's not just a gimmick. It's like, okay, people, they're people who actually, this is their life. So like I feel like you have to do that well. It's not just a gimmick thing. Like if you're going to step into that world, you've got to do it well, because if not, it could look bad.
Yeah.
So
I could.
anyway, so we all skipped Dragon Drive. We don't care about it. Let's move on. So
We
there's
don't care
been
about it, even though we just did 10 minutes on it.
yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about it. There's going to be a lot of different headlines that we're going to jump into in just a minute. But just a heads up, like there's a couple showcases that we've moved to headlines. So kind of get ready. We're going to go through all those in just a second, just to catch you guys up from all that's happened over the last couple months. Like we said, our last episode was July 1st, and so we got like 6 weeks of news to catch up on. So strap in. Let's jump into our headlines, and Greg's going to kick us off.
All right. So on the last podcast, we said the THQ Nordic Showcase was happening on August 1st. So seeing as today's date is post that, we got all the games that were shown off here. I personally didn't catch the showcase, so I apologize if some of these games are not on like the Nintendo Switch 2 or have been announced for it yet. So without further ado, we had SpongeBob Titan of the Tides, Rec Reaction, Tides of Tomorrow, Wreckfest 2, Sacred 2, The Eternal Life of Goldman, Titan Quest 2, The Guild Europa 1410, Gothic 1 Remake, Gothic Trilogy Classic, Reanimal, Feet Keeper, and Darksiders 4. So give us your thoughts and opinions if you want to see any of these games come to Switch 2.
And July 2nd, we had the Bandai Namco showcase. That's right after our last podcast. And on that showcase, we had a couple games shown off. Some of these may not be for Switch, but again, we're just going to run through them quickly. My Hero Academia, All's Justice, Code Vein 2, Patapon 1+2 Replay, Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, Death Note Killer Within, Shadow Labyrinth, Little Nightmares 3, Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots, Super Robot Wars Y, The Blood of Dawn Walker, Tekken 8 showed off a brand new season and new character, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima DLC, and Digimon Story Time Stranger.
And we also had a Pokemon event, Pokemon Presents, on July 22nd. Lots of different things shown off, including a Pokemon Legends ZA, new details about the game, but also a launch date of October 16th. We also got new details revealed for the Pokemon Championships that's coming in 2026. A teaser of Pokemon Tales, The Misadventures of Sirfetch'd and Pichu was shown off. Pokemon Friends, as we talked about earlier, was shown off. This is a puzzle game that dropped that day, a free game on iOS and Switch. There's also Mega Evolution cards that are coming to Pokemon Trading Card Game on September 26th. And finally, they showed off promo cards and prizes that will be available for the Pokemon World Championship participants on August 15th through the 17th.
And Nintendo Music app has received lots of different updates over the past month, so there'll be lots of different soundtracks I'll be going over here. On July 7th, we had the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D added. On July 14th, we had Mario Kart 64. On July 21st, we had 26 different games added. Don't get your hopes up, just early gen NES games like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. that have minimal tracks. Then on July 28th, we had Mario Paint. On August 4th was apparently a day for Pilot Wings, as we got the original Pilot Wings 64, and Pilot Wings Resort were all added. And then just recently, as of yesterday, we just got the soundtrack for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
And in Nintendo's big marketing to, tap different audiences, they decided to go in a direction, pretty much almost anyone could have seen them doing, due to their kind of reputation. But they're targeting younger kids now. The My Nintendo products are coming August 26th. There is a bunch of different things, such as a smart app, a book, stop motion shorts that are going to be on YouTube, designed for young children, and a block set. What's really interesting is the block set are also amiibo. So there's 4 different amiibo in there. It's a little diorama. Looks awesome. The app looks like the beginning of Mario 64, where you can stretch Mario's faces. And all of that's set to launch August 26th, only in Japan as of right now.
And Nintendo announced just this morning that they're going to be partnering with ISEA, that is the Interstate Scholastic Esports Alliance, and they're going to be working with them to make gaming competitions more social, accessible, and rewarding. Starting this fall, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Splatoon 3 games are going to be used in school organized tournaments and events for grades 4 through 12, reaching over 80,000 elementary, middle, and high school students across 23 states.
That's some rather unfortunate news, at least for those that are still looking to pick up the Nintendo Switch family of systems. So earlier this month, like around a week ago, Nintendo announced that all three of the original Switch consoles will be increased in price, like the Switch OLED and the Switch Lite and the original edition Switch console, and everything was going to increase by around, I believe, like $30 or so. And then other Nintendo products we'll also see additional price increases, potentially also including Nintendo Switch 2 accessories. Some of the select different amiibo and even the Alarmo will also see adjustments as well. They did note that the Nintendo Switch 2 system, along with the physical and digital games for the Nintendo Switch 2 games and the NSO, is not affected at this time, but they were saying that to note that they may do price adjustments could be necessary in the future.
All right. Lots of news over the last few weeks. We're going to jump into two big Nintendo Directs that happened over the last couple weeks really soon. But before we jump into all of that, Greg, any thoughts on all of this from our headlines?
Yeah, I did unfortunately miss both of the two showcases, the THQ and the Bandai Namco one, so I don't really have too much thoughts on some of the games there, and that'll be something I'll need to take a peek at because I'll probably be looking to pick up, I imagine, at least a few of these on from each of the different shows there. I did watch the Pokemon one, hoping that there'd be something big for this holiday season, and it was got the release date for Legend ZA. I don't know if I'll be getting that one quite yet, but it's certainly on my radar, seeing as you guys really love the original Pokemon Legends Arceus that was on Switch. But that was the main takeaway, at least I got out of the Pokemon one there. A lot of the other games didn't really seem to be terribly interesting for me personally, but great for Pokemon fans. I did listen to some of the new tracks or whatever as I normally do, especially like Mario Kart 64, and even today I was kind of saw like some of the NES games, and so that was kind of interesting to listen to original Donkey Kong in the car. I was really hoping there'd be sound effects, but they don't actually add those in there, so it's just the boring for like Donkey Kong, and it was like I don't know if I could listen to that going for like minutes on end, but for those that want it, it's there. But yeah, I did miss like the My Mario product stuff, so that does seem kind of somewhat interesting. But obviously, as Barry said, it's only in Japan, so hopefully it comes here. But I know Barry's gonna go after those new amiibos that if they're in fact there, because I know he goes for that full set. And then yeah, with the Scholastic thing, it's always great that they do those kinds of things to show off like the systems and everything. So really glad that they're made some partners with that. And then yeah, the can't believe they're actually choosing to raise the price of the Switch systems. But I don't know if you guys saw that Walmart was actually like fighting back and actually like lowered the price of the OLED below what the original price was, like in kind of like so it's like at $100 discount or something right now. So it's like
Hmm.
less than the regular Switch, the OLED one was. So that was kind of interesting there, but really stinks that they've had to increase the prices when we just got the new system out too.
Mhm. That's interesting. Yeah, I did not see that, but it's a suggested retail price anyway. So they can do whatever they want. It'll be interesting, yeah, because they probably think, oh, well, lower the price to get rid of our stock, but who knows? Um, Go into the chat real quick. Let's see. Jakester said, I don't know if anyone noticed, but the entire marketing tried to avoid. Oh, this is back about Dragon Drive. Avoid saying wheelchair basketball the entire time. Yeah, I noticed that too. And then everything except SpongeBob as a key card. He said that was all the announcements, which is interesting. And then he's excited for Toa and the Little Nightmares 3. So, Barry, what'd you think of these headlines?
Yeah, so the price increase is a weird thing. I know why they did it, but usually, when a new system comes out, the old system gets discounted.
Right.
Nintendo's like, hold my beer, let's do the opposite. And now it's like the OLED, it's like for $50 more, you get a Switch 2. Like, why get the OLED at that point? But it's yeah, you know what they're because they raised all the prices. We were waiting for my son to be a little older because we wanted to get him an Alarmo, and we figured, oh, in a few years it'll probably be cheap, $50, whatever. But nope, nope. Because of this, we went out to Best Buy and immediately grabbed the last Alarmo there just to keep for him because we wanted to be his first alarm clock. But he's only 2; he doesn't need it yet. He'll probably pick it up and throw it across the room. So we figured before the price increase, let's get it at the MSRP. So now we have it. I have an Alarmo, but it's sitting there waiting for little man to be old enough. But we did get that. The ISEA thing is really cool. I love it. See Nintendo do different organizations like that and getting schools involved. The My Nintendo products, like you mentioned, Greg, I'm very much looking forward to those blocks. I had planned to get 2, one for my son, but I think that's like 120 for the set. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's not getting those blocks. Those are daddy's blocks. But I might hold off and wait and see if they come to America before importing them. But yeah, I will have to get them for my Amiibo collection. The other stuff, I think the app might come to America, so he might have fun with that. But we're not trying to like shove screens in his face yet, so we're waiting. And the YouTube Shorts will probably definitely show him because he loves we go on YouTube anyways, YouTube Kids. So I'll probably just put those on. I think they're only like a minute long, so he might enjoy them. I might enjoy them too, so we'll see what happens. But I
Mhm.
love to see this initiative. Like if I didn't have a kid, it'd be like, all right, whatever. But like now that I have a child, it's like, oh, and he's like getting in that age range, like perfect for this. I'm like, this is great. So I am actually very excited about this for him. As for Nintendo Music, I still haven't opened that app in so long. But I love to see that they haven't forgotten Pilot Wings and to give it some love with all three games. Like, let's get. I want Pilot Wings 4. I love Pilot Wings. So it's great to see. As for the Pokemon Presents, Pokemon Legends EA, I'm very excited for. I loved Arceus. I think it's a great game. It's the game I wanted on the N64 back then, so I finally got it. If EA sticks to landing, just like Arceus, it's going to be great. They keep showing it, and it keeps looking better and better. So I can't wait to play it. Pokemon Champions looks interesting too. I know it's coming next year. People have been wanting another Pokemon Stadium, so that's what it is. So it'd be fun to have that. Uh, Pokemon Tales: The Misadventures of Sir Farfetch and Pichu looks amazing. Like I can't wait for that. I love that animation studio.
Mhm.
They also showed off, which you didn't talk about, the new season of Pokemon Concierge coming to Netflix.
Oh,
And I loved my wife and I. We both loved the first season. Like it was
mm.
great. It's only 4 episodes. We had a lot of fun with it. So we really excited for the new season and glad that it's continuing. Pokemon Friends, like we mentioned, I downloaded it that day. But just to correct you, Steve, it is not free on Switch. It
Oh, it's
is
not.
it's $10. It's a $10 unlimited on Switch with the addition that you could buy the $30 DLC where you can get it all in a bundle. Only mobile is it free with the option to pay the $10 extra. Switch, it's
What?
$10 minimum.
Wow, wow, I assumed incorrectly then.
I
I didn't
I
look it on
assume
Switch, but
too.
wow.
It is not free on Switch.
Okay.
And I don't believe because it doesn't ask for your Nintendo account, so they don't connect. So if you get
Nope,
on
they do
Switch, it
not.
starts over.
Mhm.
and and this is the type of game that if I had on Switch, I would very rarely ever boot it up. But it's
Mhm.
perfect for the phone for a quick 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes a day. And that's why I didn't pay because I'm like, no, I don't want to sit here and play brain teasers all day. I want to do it for 3 to 5 minutes a day to keep my brain active, have a little fun, and then move on.
Mhm.
So the free version on mobile is perfect for me, but yeah, it's not free for Switch, but it is
I
on Switch.
wow, I had no idea.
I don't play the Pokemon trading card, the actual game, so I'm happy for those that do. There's obviously a big market. I'm very shocked they didn't show a trailer for the newest set for TCG Pocket
Yeah.
because that came out like a couple days later. Like, why wasn't that shown
Yeah.
off? TCG Pocket's made like $1 billion for them.
It threw me off because I saw the announcement before I saw the actual presentation, and so I thought it was coming to TCG Pocket, and then that launched instead, and I was like, I thought they said Mega Evolutions." I was all confused. So yeah, it
Yeah,
threw me off.
I'm really shocked they didn't like. I don't know why. Like Pokemon TCG Pocket has made them a ton of money. I'm really shocked they did not put that in there. As for the Bandai Namco showcase, which I did get to watch, the entire thing, a couple of good games. Patapon 1+2 replay. My wife loved that on the PSP. What's really weird is they're doing all these like collections now, and a lot of them are 1 and 2s,
Mhm.
and that's really cool. But when there's a 3, why don't you do 1, 2, and 3? Like,
Money.
there's only 3 games in the series. Just do all 3 and do it as a collection. It's only on the PSP. It's not like there's a big market. It can't be. This isn't going to drive sales to 3. I doubt people are going to buy a PSP just to play 3 after this. They're going to wait for you to port it. Just port it. Toa looks great. Shadow Labyrinth. I mean, I watched the presentation. I was like, yeah, this looks great. And it is great. It's just those Pac-Man mazes can die in a fire. But it is a lot of fun. I did enjoy it, but those mazes are terrible.
Mm.
The Super Robot Wars Y, I'm shocked to see it's even coming to America. It's now Super Robot Wars has been on Switch. It was on the Switch One, it's PlayStation, a bunch of systems, but it was an import exclusive. And the reason it is that it involves a bunch of different properties, like different Gundams and other different mecha. Like in Japan, they can do that, but in America, the licenses are like owned by different companies. but somehow this one's coming to America. So I think that's really cool. I don't know if I'll get it, but I think it's really cool. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Daima. I haven't played Kakarot. I've heard mixed things about it. I loved Daima. I thought Daima was a fun anime, so I might give it a try. It's out already. I mean, I have it. I just haven't booted it up. It depends on the time. And then for THQ Nordics, I only watched some of it. A lot of the games they showed off didn't get me. However, the way they ended that presentation brought this 42-year-old man to tears in the best possible way, because they showed off the trailer for Darksiders 4. And they didn't just show off a trailer to Darksiders 4. They knew what they were doing. They played the ending to Darksiders 1. They're finally, after almost 20 years, giving us the continuation that we've been waiting for since playing on the Xbox 360. Oh my God. It only took you to the 5th game to give us the conclusion, or at least the next part of the first game. But we're finally getting it. This is incredible. If you've never played Darksiders, you really do need to. It's a fantastic series. Absolutely fantastic. But when you play that first game and you get to the ending, it's like Avengers Infinity War hype level. Like, there's the snap. Oh my God, I can't wait for Endgame. But now you get to see Infinity War from a bunch of different perspectives, and you get to see what happened before Infinity War, and now you finally are going to get Endgame. Like, we're finally getting a conclusion. So hyped for that, honestly. Play those games if you haven't. They're really, really good. If you like Zelda, if you like God of War, if you like action RPGs, if you like 3D games, some platforming, definitely play them. They're all on Switch too. They're all Switch also, not Switch 2. Yeah, and this one is not confirmed for Switch 2, which is the weird thing. It's not. But I'll play it on PS5 if I have to. I don't give a crap. I've waited too long. But I have a feeling this will come to Switch 2. It's just going to be announced at a Nintendo Direct, because why would Nintendo want to jump on that hype after all these years? Nah, they don't want that hype. They want to wait. Announce it on their own time.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember you actually telling me about Darksiders, because I think I have 1 and 2 maybe on Steam, or I can't remember if I have it on
So
Switch or what.
good.
But I remember you explaining that whole thing to me, and you're like, yeah, but they never came back to the first storyline, but here we are. They're finally making it happen.
I mean, if you enjoy Zelda, you play Darksiders 1. Darksiders 1 is honestly Zelda with God of War combat. It's literally a Zelda game, and it's great. And then again, you're going to get to that. And Mark Hamill plays a big role in it, like a voice. So if you enjoy Mark Hamill's Joker, you get a ton of that. It's great. But then you get to the ending, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. And you're and you're gonna wait, unless you play 4 first.
That's true. Maybe I've this has helped. Like
Maybe
waiting
for you,
actually is the better way to do it.
because 2 takes place at the same time as 1 from Death's perspective. 3 is a prequel, and Genesis is a prequel. So it's like, come on.
Looking at everything, the headlines and stuff for me. Yeah, there wasn't a ton that really stood out. I mean, Darksiders is great, but again, I have not played the other ones yet, so it looks great, but I of course need to play the other ones probably first. And then I think really the only other one that stood out to me from THQ was Wreckfest 2. I don't know if I'll play it or not, but those games look fun. And then
Whoa.
hmm?
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Jakester just did a live update in our Discord. So
Yeah.
this is breaking news. NSO is actually getting a brand new game on August 21st. GameCube is getting Chibi Robo,
Oh.
a game that I never thought I'd see again in any type of media. But Chibi Robo is back after Ziplash, and the original game is going to the GameCube on August
Wow.
21st. So
Chibi
live
Robo.
update.
Wow.
Thank you, Jakester, for the
That's
live.
exciting. Yeah, that I love when they give us like free games like that. Free. We pay for it, but very minimal. And then let's see. As far as Bandai goes, none of those really stood out to me except for Shadow Labyrinth looked fun. And then I heard what your experience was, Barry, and I was like, Nope, off my list.
It's fun. No, don't get me wrong. You should play it. You will enjoy it. You don't get to the
Except for the
mazes
end.
till far later, but yeah, and you might enjoy the mazes. You might enjoy what they did with it, and say, you know what, Barry, you're wrong. This is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this, and absolutely, if you could be your bread and butter, so don't let my experience tamper you.
Maybe.
If you're
Except for
interested
everybody
in
else
Shadow
is also
Leopard,
the same thing.
I mean, it's got a 3 of 5 rating average, but it's a fun game. It's got a really weird story. And I want to see the conclusion. I might look it up on YouTube just to see the conclusion, because I hate when you have a side thing that's shoehorned in that's not very good and then it's forced on you. Don't
Yeah.
make optional stuff forced.
Yeah, totally. And then Pokemon Presents, just Pokemon Friends is like the only thing that grabbed my attention immediately. Tried it out again. I'm so glad I got it for free on my phone, because I'm not paying $30 for on the Switch for it. And then Pokemon Legends ZA, of course, I've already talked about how I'm excited about that, so that's cool just to see more. And October 16th will be here hopefully soon. We got 2 months left. And then Nintendo music stuff, I'm right with you, Barry. Like, I don't listen to it very often, but it's awesome that stuff's there. The My Mario products are great, except for the price of those blocks, like $135 for the 30 block set. I'm like, you said these are for little kids, and yet you price them for $135, probably because they have amiibo stuff within them. I'm like, "Oh, what parent's going to give their kids a $135 block set that's probably just going to be thrown across the room and destroyed? Like you said, these are daddy's blocks. This is not what you're going to do with them, is give them to their kids. So I don't know. I think they missed something on that. But the rest of the
Well,
stuff is cool.
it depends if they're Game Boy strong or if they're Nintendo Labo strong.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. ISEA stuff is cool as well, and raising the prices is that's unfortunate. It's kind of, I'm interested to see what that does to the Switch 2 sales. If people now will go, well, for only $50 more, I can get a Switch 2 instead of an OLED Switch. Where before it was like, oh, well, I'll save my money and get the last one, but now it's like only $50 more. So it'd be interesting to see how that all plays out, especially with some stores, at least like Walmart, dropping the price instead. So that'll be really interesting to see how that all plays out. So but before we jump into our main discussion, there was actually 2 other stories that Greg reminded me of in the chat that you guys can't see, and wanted to just to share those 2 with you guys real quick. Miyamoto went to Twitter or X on July 16th to share the casting of live action Zelda. I think we may have actually covered this now that I'm talking about it. I think we maybe covered this in our last episode. But we got Bo Bragason as Zelda and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as Link. And the Legend of Zelda movie is scheduled for theatrical release on May 7th. So 2027. So we have to wait just a little longer. But those casting has been done for at least Link and Zelda, and that's about all we know right now. And then we got Mario Paint that dropped on the NSO. And not only is it the regular, Mario Paint that you'd expect, but they also put in mouse control. If you play it on your Switch, you can plug in a USB mouse, but you can also use your Switch 2 Joy-Cons for mouse control in Mario Paint on the NSO as well. So kind of cool. That's all that's there, and now you can be able to share stuff a little easier. Like if you make music within the game and stuff. So, Greg, what do you think about the Zelda casting, and then also Mario Paint coming to NSO?
Well, I don't think we had a confirmation for the casting stuff at that point,
Okay.
because this was July 16th and our last one was on July 1st. But
Okay. I
um,
remember us talking about it, but I
I
can't
yeah,
remember. I think that it would just got a date maybe or something like that.
or, yeah, unless it was like a rumor or something that wasn't officially
Something.
confirmed.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I don't really know the actor and actress that they selected, but I'm sure it will probably work out to be pretty well because usually they're really trying to show what they can do, and if they make it big off of Legend of Zelda, that will probably launch them to stardom. So, hopefully, the movie turns out really well there. I actually not played the original Mario Paint, so I'm hoping to eventually try to check that out at some point. So, I'm kind of excited for the mouse controls. It seems like it makes it a lot more fun to play around with. It'll give you a reason to
Wow.
actually use the Joy-Con mode.
I am shocked that you have not played Mario Paint. That's wow. I didn't know what to think about that. Barry, what do you think about these two announcements?
Yeah, so the Zelda casting, I'm actually glad they went with no names. I think that was like, well, I should say no names. Like they are active, but like they're not well-known names. And it's one of those things where when the Mario movie was coming out, and they're like, "Here's the cast," and it's Chris Pratt and Seth Rogen and Jack Black, and like they did a great job. I loved the movie, but it was like you're pulling in, a lot of big names here. We could have had anybody do it, like Charles Martinet, for example. And I'm glad they're doing it this way, and they're getting them. They're younger, so I'm hoping this turns into a multiple movie series. And obviously, younger actors means they should have an easier time making multiple movies. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And Mario Paint, I mean, is a classic on the SNES. I loved it then. I haven't booted it up to play it. Just again, I haven't gotten the Joy Cons off of my my Switch 2 to do the mouse controls, and I don't feel like plugging in a USB mouse to my dock for the Switch 1. So I haven't messed around with it, but I think it's great that they're bringing it back and it's on there. More games, the merrier. I think that's wonderful, and it's something that today I know some kids would be like, "What's the big deal?" Like I could do way better with my phone even, but back then we didn't have that type of stuff. I mean, very few people even had paint, so it's just nostalgic and it's just charming, and I'm glad that it's there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to have it for sure. And I'm with you guys about like I'm glad that we went with relatively lesser known actors to play those roles for sure. That way they can just easily be those characters rather than bringing notoriety with them or whatever. So speaking of NSO, I forgot to mention I'm with you guys now. I finally have my GameCube controller. They finally made them available, and I could actually process the purchase on the Nintendo website because I kept having problems over and over again. But we're all good now. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be playing around with the Nintendo Paint or Mario Paint eventually as well. Jakester said that he's never played Mario Paint, and what's my reaction? I'm not surprised. You're a lot younger than us. So, um, moving on, finally, because there was so much to discuss. Moving on to our main discussion, two pieces for this episode. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct Partner Direct that happened back on July 31st. And then we're going to be talking about the Indie World Showcase that happened on August 7th. So let's first jump in to the partner showcase. And as we normally do, we'll be playing it on the screen without audio, of course. But so if you want to check it out, the video version of the podcast, you can do that. But I'm going to be running through some of the highlights from the games that were announced, and we'll kind of discuss them little by little. So, going in first to the Nintendo Direct, again, the partner showcase that happened on July 31st. We started off with Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. That's going to be dropping on at sometime in 2026. So we don't really have an exact date, but just sometime next year. And that's going to be a Switch 2 game. And then a Switch 1 game that was showed off was Once Upon a Katamari. It's another game in that series, dropping on October 24th, 2025. And then another Switch 1 game the Just Dance 2026 edition got showed off in the partner showcase, and that's coming on October 14th, 2025. So, of those three games, Monster Hunter Stories 3: Twisted Reflection, Once Upon a Katamari, and then Just Dance 2026. Greg, what's your thoughts about these three games?
Well, I haven't really been a huge fan of the Monster Hunter series, so that one's going to be kind of at least a pass for me. But excited for those that are been eagerly waiting the next Monster Hunter game. The Once Upon a Katamari was at least a somewhat interesting looking game. I don't know if it's something I'll eventually get. 'Cause I know there'll be lots of other games coming out and by the end of the year. But it did look somewhat like interesting, but that'd be the only one that really stood out. And Just Dance is just the next, essentially like a sports franchise at this point. It's a yearly release and not a ton of changes being done there.
Yeah, we still have to play 2025 edition for a game chat at some point. Maybe just roll 2026 in there as well. Barry, what'd you think of these first three?
I am very hyped for Monster Hunter Stories 3. I never got into the Monster Hunter series. I tried Try on the Wii, or I tried 3 Ultimate on the Wii U, and I tried Rise on the Switch. None of them really worked for me. But Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2 are fantastic. They're fantastic RPGs, a little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of rock, paper, scissors, really cool stories, really just fun gameplay, very, very different than the main Monster Hunter series. So to see 3, very excited. I can't wait. Definitely a day one for me. I love them. Katamari, it's great to see, it's coming back and doing more Katamari games. I never got into them, but I know there's a huge audience. And Just Dance, yay. I would be more interested if they announced it was also on the Wii. That would have had me excited.
Hey, at this point, who knows? Yeah, I'm with you guys. Never got into Katamari. Just Dance, yeah, surprise. I'm more surprised that they featured it in the partner showcase more than anything else, because of course it's going to come out, and of course it's going to have more songs. Monster Hunter Stories, I never got into, and I don't. There's no real good reason why I never got into it. I played several games from the original, like the actual Monster Hunter series, and enjoy a lot of the ones that I played. But knowing that Stories is a different take on it, for sure. This is the first one that I looked at and I was like, that looks, I mean, it looks pretty. That helps a lot. It looks gorgeous. But I was like, oh, maybe I'll check this one out. I don't know. We'll see. So it definitely grabbed my attention. This is the most of all three of those games for sure. This next section of games, I've got I put down 5 games we'll talk about in just a second. All of these games are coming out for both Switch 1 and Switch 2. So all 5 of the games that I'm going to mention in just a second are all out for both systems. And starting with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, that's going to be dropping on November 14th, 2025. And then Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. So Plants vs. Zombies is coming back. It's going to be dropping on October 23rd of this year. And then EA Sports FC 26, which is their soccer or football franchise, after they lost the rights to FIFA. That's going to be dropping on September 26th of this year. Pac-Man World 2 Repack is going to be dropping on September 26th, 2025. And they did highlight that on the screen that's going to be a physical and a digital. Although I thought that was going to mean that since they pointed it out, a physical edition on the screen, I was like, oh, maybe that means an actual physical edition. Nope, that has nothing to do with it. Most of these are key cards anyway, even though they called out physical on the screen. So anyway, it's going to get both, technically both versions on September 26th. And then the final one for this section was Final Fantasy Tactics, the Invalus Chronicles. And that's going to be dropping also on September 30th, 2025. And again, physical in quotes and digital editions for that game as well that was mentioned. So what are those 5 games? What stands out to you, Barry?
For me, I mean, I enjoyed what I played of Sparking Zero. I didn't play it as much. I played on the PlayStation 5. It's just one of those things where I don't I don't think I was in the right mindset for like a fighting game. So it might be fun on the Switch too. I mean, the fact that it's on the Switch is pretty impressive. Because again, it was a PS5 game, but it's got a huge roster of characters, and I'd love to see it. And yeah, I think that's about really it of the one shown off there. That I mean, Pac-Man World 2, I enjoyed on the GameCube, and I'm happy to see it come back, and probably mess around with it again. I did see someone say this should have been the last thing, like the one more thing, like this is the biggest thing they shown off. I'm like, it's a remake, dude. You're that excited for a remake that it should be the one more? No,
No.
like when it said like a multitude of games, I thought it was gonna be Pac-Man World 2 and 3 together, and until I realized they meant the whole section, not just this one. But I'm glad to see it, and I hope 3 follows suit. Again, it's anytime you get games from older systems back on a current platform, it's great, and it is a fun game. It's not like earth-shattering or the best thing since sliced bread. Wasn't even the best 3D platformer on the GameCube, but I'm just happy to see it. And Plants vs Zombies is just weird that it's back in its original form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real quick in the chat, Jakester says be a lot more excited if a lot of them were actual physical versions instead of key cards.
Yeah,
Hoping that by the time Monster Hunter comes out, that it's announced as an actual cart. And then also mentions, Greg, that you would probably get into the stories games because they are RPGs.
yeah, they're
And
great.
yeah, also says a lot of these games I'm just gonna get the Switch One versions since those are actually or actual game cartridges instead of key cards. So that makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
that's what when I played Shadow Labyrinth, I actually put the physical Switch 1 cartridge in my Switch 2, and I downloaded the free update to play the Switch 2 version
Oh,
instead of buying the
interesting.
game keycard version.
Greg, what do you think about this set of 5 games?
Mostly was past. Like I've never really played like the Dragon Ball stuff and Plants for Zombies, and also like the EA games in general. The Pac-Man World World 2, I'd never played the GameCube original, but did look at least mildly interesting that it could be something I might check out eventually on Switch. But the one of the larger takeaways for me was the Final Fantasy Tactics, because I know that's like a Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem are kind of together there, so it looks like that could be a lot of fun and kind of up my alley, and especially as I'm kind of getting more reacquainted with Final Fantasy and the like pretty much this year. So that was
Yeah,
Yep.
my big one this year.
Oh yeah, it's one
nice.
of the best SRPGs ever. It's like, but I'm just not a huge fan of SRPGs, but I'm glad it's back. And also, I just wanted to comment, Steve, did you say the Invalise? It's Evilise.
I don't remember what I said.
Steve's not known
I have
for
no idea.
pronunciating everything. Remember?
I've moved on.
I
It's
can
a
never.
strategy game. I'm not gonna get it. I don't know. Honestly, like the 2 games that really stood out to me from this section was Plants vs Zombies. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but it was cool to see it's back, and I played the heck out of that game on mobile when it originally came out. Played it so much, and so I don't know if I'll get it again, but it was so cool to see. And EA Sports FC 26, actually this is the first EA soccer game that in the last, I don't know how long, that I'm really excited about it because they've actually been listening to fans and they've been putting a ton of really good updates in this game. So I don't know. I'm excited to check it out, and I'll probably get it on Switch too and see how it plays. But that's really all that stood out to me. And then we move on to the next set of 3 games. First one is Persona 3 Reload. That's going to be dropping physical and digital on October 23rd, 2025 on the Switch 2. And then Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment sometime this winter of 2025, 2026. Also on the Switch 2, and then EA Sports Madden NFL 26 on Switch 2 only. Going to be dropping in just a couple days on August 14th, 2025. So weird but cool to see Madden featured in a Nintendo Direct. So, Greg, from Persona to Hyrule Warriors to Madden, any of those stand out to you?
Pretty much just the Hyrule Warriors. So, I did really enjoy the first one back on whatever the original Hyrule Warriors, and I didn't really get to play Age of Calamity, unfortunately. But I'm really hoping to get some time to be able to play Age of Imprisonment because I did really like the Breath of the Wild series and kind of try to see what this like the lead up into Tears of the Kingdom is. So that was pretty much my biggest one from these three, and like you, it was certainly shocking to see Madden is finally back on like a Nintendo console after I think since like the N64 or whatever it was, or maybe or GameCube even. But
Wii
I know
U,
it's been some time.
Wii U launched with Madden 13, I think.
I think that was it, though.
Yeah,
But
that was the last Madden on it.
it
It
was
was
a
the only one
poor
and only.
version because we had Madden, but it was like the cartoony one.
The all play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wii U had
Yeah,
Madden 13 at launch, and that was it.
yeah.
And it was, I think 13 was also on the Wii, if I remember correctly, and like that was it. Like EA was like, no, we're done with
Yeah.
Nintendo now.
Yeah. So,
They're
Barry, what do you
back.
think of these three?
Wow, what a set. I mean, Madden is not a game I'm interested in, but my father-in-law already had it pre-owned on his Switch, like it's pretty loaded and ready to go. So I'm really happy that it's bringing more people to the Switch ecosystem and even to gaming because my father-in-law wasn't a gamer at all and now is playing games. But I mean, first off, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, absolutely yes. I loved the first two. Age of Calamity was phenomenal. I can't believe you never played it, Greg. It is awesome.
Hmm.
And Persona 3 Reload, unbelievable game. I loved it on the PlayStation. It was absolutely phenomenal. It just the Persona series is great. Great music, great cast of characters. Even though 3 has the whole, repetitive thing about the night hour and going through the big tower as its dungeon, it's still a great game. And if you haven't played it, you really should. Like the all the Persona games are great. They're just awesome life sim RPGs.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is definitely the standout for me of this section. I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not a huge Madden player, but part of me wants to like maybe get it just to show them, hey, Nintendo gamers want this sort of thing. So I don't know if I'll do it or not, but I'm leaning. I get a Madden game like every, I don't know, 15 years maybe. So it might be time for me to get another one, and then I'll play it just barely. But it is cool that it's coming back to Nintendo. But Hyrule Warriors is definitely the one that it stands out to me for sure from this section. And then we got another section of games that, if you're watching on the screen, we're right in time. And this one was Chilling by the Fire. Shadow dropped that day on July 31st, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive game that I have no idea how it came to Switch 2 at all because it looks like a Wii game. But yeah, you can hop into Campfire and hang out with your friends digitally. Um, and that's basically it. But it drops again that day on July 31st. Again, Switch 2. Apex Legends was announced as coming to Switch 2 as well on August 5th. So at this point, it's already out. That is a digital only game. And then a game called Hella that is coming on 2026, physical and digital. Again, that's a Switch 2 game as well. So Barry, of the Chilling by the Fire, Apex Legends, and Hella, what stood out?
the memes the memes because it's Chilling by the Fire are great. Like it's I get it. I get exactly what the point of it. It's just to hang out and you can't be by near each other, therefore, you use the camera and just have fun. And I can definitely see like four people getting on it like completely drunk and just having a recorded session that's probably hilarious to watch. Is it a game for me? No. If it was free, maybe I would mess around with it. But you know what? It's also one of those things where I'm sure there are people out there that are enjoying it, and I don't think it's right for anybody to shit on them for enjoying it or having fun. So and the devs worked hard on it. So, mad props to them. Apex, it's not a game for me, but I know there's an audience for it. I'm glad to see it actually coming to. I think it was on the first Switch too, but also glad to see it coming to the Switch too. And hell, looks interesting. It definitely looks like it could be a fun adventure. It's like Moss, but not in VR. And in like a 3D world, I always like when games like you have to use. You're smaller now, so things that are small to us are now large, and you have to use different tools. So if it's done right, it could be a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've gone from cat games to now mouse games. So,
So why not?
in fact, like it's made by like My Games or something like that. But this reminds me of it feels like a Microsoft game. Like it feels
Yeah.
like it's coming from Microsoft Studios. But that's definitely the one that stood out to me for sure of this set. Greg, any of these that stood out to you?
Yeah, the Hello one is slightly interesting. That did kind of look like it could be enjoyable, but might need more of like a demo to verify. Some of it does look somewhat like sluggish or slow, but I don't know if that's by design or if that's just because the world has to be a lot bigger because you're like a mouse. But so I don't know. That one could be pretty cool. And while you guys were talking, I did see that Chilling by the Fire is actually $15 if you want to get a good deal on it right now. So we could all sit by the fire and
So
take
that
turns
should be
renting it.
free with NSO.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
that's all I'll do in the
that
next
was
podcast. Just chilling by the fire.
yeah, that doesn't really look
Get
too
us review
enjoyable for
codes,
me at
Steve.
all, but
Let's get review
Yeah,
codes and chill
after I
by the
just
fire.
gave them a glowing review of the trailer, I'll get review codes. Yeah. Let's move on to this next section of games. Again, all of these are also Switch 2 games. Star Wars Outlaws is dropping on September 4th of this year. Kronos. I think it's Kronos. Correct me if I'm wrong. The New Dawn is dropping on September 5th of this year. And then we got Yakuza Kiwami 2, Yakuza Kiwami, and then a Yakuza Kiwami digital bundle of the two games. All of those are going to be dropping on November 13th. Again, all on Switch 2. So Star Wars Outlaws, Kronos, The New Dawn, and a collection of the two Yakuza Kiwami games, 1 and 2, or by themselves, all on November 13th. So, Greg, any of these stand out to you?
pretty much nope. Leave it straight to the point. But yeah, this was also right part with the highlight reel or whatever. So like that was kind of at least I think the first few were, but the words. But yeah, I these were mostly ones that I didn't get a lot of interest in. So
All right. Barry, anything stand out to you?
Star Wars could be fun. I've heard good things about it. I just don't know if I would play the Switch 2 version. Chronos looks fantastic, but I'm not a horror guy.
Mhm.
But I love the premise. It looks really interesting, and I'm glad to see more Yakuza love. Yeah, maybe you can get us review code, Steve.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm with you about Star Wars Outlaws. That's probably the thing that stood out to me the most of this section. But at the same time, I'm kind of like on the fence if I want to try it out and everything. But if I do play it'll be on Switch too. Like I don't have a PS5 and I don't have like an Xbox Series X or X, whatever they're on now. I don't even remember. So, so yeah, I think Switch 2 would probably be the one that I get if I do get it. And I like Star Wars. I just don't play every game. But we'll see. And then Yakuza would be fun. I think it's just so funny, like how it's such a serious game, but then you also have like these silly mini games that are built into Yakuza. It makes me laugh every time. It's like I'm sure it's fun because I still haven't played any of them, but it seems so jarring to like go from like a serious game to all of a sudden like you're playing some like pachinko game or whatever thing, because it's just built into the world. I mean, it's Japanese
Yeah.
culture, so that makes sense. But it's so jarring because the main storyline is so serious, and then you get into that, so like throwing
Well,
darts or whatever.
they're fun loving. They're fun loving gangsters, so to
Yeah,
speak.
I
And
guess
like
so. Yeah,
there's like Sega arcades. You can go in and play like actual Sega arcade
yeah.
games, and meanwhile all the killings are going on and
Right.
the mafia war and all that.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's just like meanwhile, I can go into a virtual
You
golf simulator.
you can bowl like because
Yeah,
Zero has a bowling alley. You can go just I'm gonna bowl for now and until
yeah.
before I go kill someone.
Right. All right. So next section, we had a Switch 1 and Switch 2 game. It's coming out again for both systems. Goodnight Universe. That's dropping on November 11th of this year. And then Switch 1 game called NBA Bounce, which is more of a cartoony game that I think the way it seems, it's all the NBA mascots that are playing. I think you can also play as other characters, but it's highlighted the mascots in the trailer. That's going to be dropping on September 26th, so not too far away. And then Hello Kitty Island Adventure Wheat Flower Wonderland is going to be dropping on Switch 1 sometime this fall. So, Goodnight Universe, NBA Bounce, and Hello Kitty Island Adventure Wheat Flower Wonderland. Long name. But yeah, anything stand out from those three, Barry?
All pass unless NBA Bounce plays like NBA Jam. If it does, then I'm all there for it. If not,
Absolutely.
no interest.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Greg, what do you think?
I'll just third that up then because most of these seem like they were easy skips, but yeah.
Yep. So the next section of games, we'll cover three more. We got Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, Nintendo Switch 2 edition that dropped that day. Again, that's first Nintendo Switch 2 if the name didn't give it away. And then Shinobi Art of Vengeance drops on August 29th. There is a demo available right now, and that's on Switch 1. And then Borderlands 4 is coming to Switch 2 on October 3rd of this year. So, Greg, any of those three stand out to you?
The Shinobi Art of Vengeance looks kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's more of a Metroidvania or if it's just more of like a platforming type game, but either way, it looked at least somewhat interesting. Like I would probably like that one, but that was like the main one of these set of three that stood out.
Nice. Barry, any of these three stand out to you?
Uh, yeah, but it's interesting to see Borderlands 4 just
Yeah.
put to like this ending, like the slideshow almost, like the rundown. It didn't get its own actual section, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice. Romancing Saga 2 is a lot of fun. Played on the Switch 1 actually. So it's cool to see it get a Switch 2 version. And Shinobi, I've heard nothing but amazing things about. Like a lot of people love the demo. I haven't played the demo yet. I'm just because I already plan to play the main game, so might as well wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Shinobi is definitely the one that stood out to me for sure. Like I didn't play I think I played the original, but I didn't have because it came on Genesis, right? Um
Yeah,
and
it
so
was
like I
arcade. This
never
was
owned a Genesis, and so I only played it I think when I went over to my friend's house that had one. And so I just played a little bit of it. Big Ninja Gaiden fan, like from back in the day, and so similar. It's a ninja, platforming game. And so yeah, I'm excited to get that, at least the demo and try that out. Romancing Saga 2 looks fantastic. I don't know if I'll get it or not, but it looks fantastic. And the same with Borderlands 4. At this point, too many games, not enough time, but all of them looked great.
If you're
Um,
interested, Steve, it usually goes on sale for like $2.49. Part of the Sega Ages collection on the Switch 1. The
hmm.
arcade version of Shinobi's there.
Oh,
So
cool.
normally it's like $8, but if when it goes on sale, it's usually $2.49. So you can
All
play
right,
that, but not bad.
sweet. And then finally, before when that, Jakester said that Outlaws has mixed receptions, and then also he's looking forward to the Hello Kitty update. And then finally, we got 2 games that look pretty great. The one's for Switch 2 and one's for Switch 1 and 2. Switch 2 is getting The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales. That's going to be dropping sometime in 2026. There's a demo now available with an upcoming survey that you can give feedback on, similar to how they did with Square did with Octopath Traveler, which is what they announced at the very end as well. Switch 1 and Switch 2 is getting Octopath Traveler 0 on December 4th, 2025. And these 2 games look fantastic, but they also look very, very, very similar. Same kind of art style for both of these games, but they do look great. Greg, what do you think about these last 2 games?
I'm really excited for the Adventures of Elliot. I did download the demo, but I didn't get a chance to play it. So with Donkey Kong taking so much time up until pretty much the month of August, I didn't really get a chance to even check this one out yet. But I've already downloaded it, and the game looks fantastic from the trailer. So I'm excited to try to check that out. And then Octopath Traveler, I'd never really finished like the first 2 games already, but I would probably still pick this one up to begin with because I have really liked the series and I really like that art style even as well too. It's just one of those too many games, not enough time kind of things for that series, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Barry, how about you?
Oh yeah, both instant buys. Played the demo of Elliot. I'm already sold, and I love the first 2 Octopath Traveler games. So I think this one is a mobile game that they're finally porting over.
Mm,
But I mean, it would make sense. But it's still, I enjoyed the first 2, so no reason for me not to play this one.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, they both look great, and that makes a lot more sense. As I was interested, like why they were bringing it to Switch 1 and 2, and if it's a kind of a port of a
Yeah,
mobile game, that makes a lot more sense.
they've
I
done that
also
before. Like Various Daylight was a
oh
mobile game, and then they brought it to the Switch.
yeah,
So
I also downloaded the demo of Adventures of Elliot and didn't touch it. So that was the game at the very top of the episode that I mentioned that I downloaded, but I couldn't remember. Or I had never played it. That was it. So I had to look at my Switch 2 real quick, and I was like, oh yeah, it's sitting right there. Donkey Kong keeps taking taking the lead. So yeah, just in general, real quick, what do you guys think about the Indie World Showcase overall? What do you think, Barry?
it was the partner direct, not the
Oh,
indie world.
sorry. Yeah,
I
I'm
jumping
You
ahead a
jumping
little
ahead?
bit.
no, I'm looking at the screen because I'm ready to talk at Indie World Showcase next, and that's what I read.
Time traveling
So
Steve.
yeah, what'd you think of the
But no,
partner showcase?
I see a lot of people like, oh, that was terrible. Oh, waste. Oh, it didn't show off what I wanted it to show. Like, first off, it's a partner showcase. So the fact that we even got like Hyrule Warriors for something that's a Nintendo related thing is great. I even had one person like who was a big like Nintendo YouTuber, big, like I'm not gonna mention names, but they're like they've never shown anything Nintendo in a partner showcase or an indie direct or anything like that. Like, no, you'll never get that. And I'm like, hello, Endless Ocean. Like, it literally just last year. Like for someone who's gonna come off as a little arrogant and like at least check yourself, because and other people pointed it out too, and of course they were silent. They never responded because they were wrong. But see, Hyrule Warriors was there. It was great. But what I love to see is a I didn't expect the direct right now, because why would I? Nintendo just launched the Switch 2. They're the big flagship games, Mario Kart and Donkey Kong were out, which each got their own direct, or I should say one got a trailer and one got a direct. And everything else, we don't know the exact announcement. I know people are like, "Where's Metroid? Where's Metroid?" We're gonna get delayed. Nintendo usually puts out a game a month. We had Mario Kart in June. We had Donkey Kong and Mario Party in July. In August, we have Kirby, and in October we have Pokemon, which leaves September and November. Then there's spots for it. There's spots for information, and most likely Nintendo does it direct in the fall. Nintendo just wasn't ready to showcase what they had, so they went to their partners because they gave attention to their partners. And what I took away from this is look at the partners they showcased: Capcom, Ubisoft, EA, Square Enix. These are not small partners. These are
Yeah.
not indie, and they gave them the big spotlight. And you know what? that's great. And if none of these games interest you, that's fine. For me, I'd probably give it around a B. Like in terms of presentation, they the biggest criticism I could take is, Elliot and Octopath look very similar. So ending with two games that look very, very similar is a little confusing. It'd be interesting if like Elliot or like Octopath was in one port, or Elliot was earlier on, and then they came back. But overall, I enjoyed it. I saw games I wanted. I saw games I didn't care about, like any direct. But I think people need to get their expectations in check because you know you're not the only valid thing was no Silk Song, which I'm not even hyped for Silk Song, but I know people have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it could appear in anything, including what we're talking about next, and it's still not there. So
Yep,
those
that's true.
people, I understand the frustration.
Yep, yeah. Greg, what'd you think?
I basically share the same thoughts as Barry. I mean, it's obviously not every game is going to be for each person individually. I mean, there's going to be something for everyone. I mean, they were showing a wide variety of like genres. You got like the sports games, you got the RPGs, you got other like platforming type games. So I mean, there's not like they didn't like just wasn't like a farm simulator like overhaul thing that we've seen in the past. So it's like a pretty good variety here. So obviously, not unless you like every single genre, then you're not going to like every single game shown here. So I did like Barry. I found a few that are very excited for and hoping to get more information on, or even check out their demos and stuff like that. So it's kind of pretty much as to be expected, and I think a B is kind of a pretty fair grade to give it. And to kind of further down Barry's point, I think they probably showed this first so that it doesn't get overshadowed by the upcoming like fall direct, because like pretty much all these are just going to be like people who are just not tuned into this type of broadcast had the Nintendo's like, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is like October or whatever. So you never really know with these things. One thing I was kind of surprised was that they didn't even show the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 thing that they covered in a previous direct, and then Square kind of shadow dropped it saying, hey, it's coming out in October. So that's kind of an unusual kind of move there. I would almost thought it would have been featured in the partner direct, as we didn't really get to see any actual footage of the game because it was still like in development at the last direct it was in.
I think they didn't do that because, again, it's another HD 2D game. So then 3 games are HD 2. Like they all bleed
Yeah.
together at that point.
It's true. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah, it
love
makes
that
sense.
that style, but it does seem like it's getting a little repetitive lately. It still looks beautiful, but I get you. Yeah.
You need to space it out just a
Yeah.
little bit, and that's
Yeah.
that's otherwise it's no longer it loses what was so special about it, because like
Yeah.
it's like when Wind Waker came out and like, oh, cell shaded is neat, and then every game did cell
Yeah.
shading, and then you did like Call of Duty, and you had these like Gears of War, you had these grayscale shooters, and everything was grayscale shooter. Like it just gets played out, so you need
Yeah.
need a little space. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, they could have easily just separated those last two games at different
Hmm.
points in the direct. Like you almost could have put, I don't know, like the Adventures of Elliot towards like the middle, or even towards the top or something, just so then it wasn't like almost like, is this still the same game that I'm watching? And
Right.
because
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done the Elliot before the Hyrule Warriors, and they could have done Octopath Zero either at the end, or they could have put Dragon Quest at the end and put Octopath Traveler Zero in that last section, but separated them out a little bit.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I know people would complain, too much of that, too much of that. Just like we've seen too many farm games, or too many
Yeah.
RPGs, or too many anime games. No one's ever satisfied.
Ah,
It's
of
like
course not.
it's like there's this joke. I don't know if you know the cartoon Young Justice, the DC Young Justice
Hmm.
animated. It's just fantastic. But there's a joke in there that's a running joke, and it's the question is, why is nobody ever whelmed? Everyone's overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Why is no one ever just
Yeah.
whelmed?
I
And
just
I
feel
feel like
whelmed.
that applies to Nintendo Direct. Like you're either overhyped or you're pissed off. It's like, why are you just never just like, you know what? That was fine.
Yeah.
Like everyone just has these polarizing opinions.
Yeah.
So people need to be more whelmed.
You know what, Barry? That's how I feel about this partner showcase. I was very whelmed. I really was. Like there was nothing that blew me away, but apart from like one game that I've already mentioned, there was not any other games that made me go, "What the?" what is that? Like for the most part, I was like, oh, these are all solid games, and I'll play some of them, and I won't play others. But again, nothing blew me away, but nothing really made me go, ugh, why are they doing this? Except for that one. Uh, so, but yeah, I feel whelmed. um,
It's a good point if you think
yeah,
about it.
yeah. We'll move on to the Indie World Showcase now, and again, we'll kind of break some of these announcements up. I think there was 18 different games that were talked about in the Indie World Showcase. Again, if you want to know all these announcements, you can head over to NintendoFuse.com, and we've got them all listed there, and as well as the videos as well. But first, a section of games. These are all Switch 1 games. We're getting Mina the Hollower coming out on October 31st on Halloween. There's also a demo available. This is from the people behind what's it? Shoot,
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight. I was like, gone. Got ready to say it, and it was gone. And then also we're getting a game called Well Dweller that's going to be coming out sometime next year in 2026, as well as Neverway, another game dropping sometime in 2026. A game called Herdling that's going to be on just a few days away on August 21st, 2025. And then a game called Is This Seat Taken that dropped on August 7th, so just a few days ago. Again, all these games are on Switch 1. Quickly recap them again. Mina the Hollower, Well Dweller, Neverway, Herdling, and Is This Seat Taken? So, Barry, let's go to you first. Any of those stand out to you?
The biggest one for me for sure is Mina. I've been following the game for a while, and I know a lot of people who have played the demo and loved it. And I didn't play the demo. I don't need to play the demo. I'm sold on it. Shovel Knight looks great. Was great. I mean, and this looks great. I love the style. It reminds me of another game that came out earlier this year from PM called Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. And if you haven't played that yet, you really should. It's fantastic. Um, but that game very much, really blew me away. As does what's on the screen now. Is under. I don't
Well
have the list
Dweller.
in front of me. Well Dweller looks good too.
Yeah.
Like it just looks really interesting, unique. I love the art style. So those are probably the two biggest ones for me.
Cool. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well Dweller looks fantastic. I'm not as into Mina, but knowing it came from the Shovel Knight team, I know it's going to be a great game. But Well Dweller was the one that stood out to me for sure. Is this seat taken? Just looks silly. Like I don't think I'm going to play it, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. Greg, what do you think of this first set of 5 games?
Pretty much right on the same page as both you guys. The Mina the Howler and Well Dweller are pretty much the biggest takeaways from the set. Neverway does seem remotely interesting. I don't know if I need more like information or to see a different trailer. And then I don't know. Sometimes like those really goofy games, like the Is the Seat Taken? Because I mean I've played like with the golf and other games like that, and the the cloud game or whatever I'm blanking on that PM did, but I don't know. Might be something to check out and have a few laughs. I don't know.
Yeah, is that the Rain on Your Parade?
Yeah, Rain on Your
Yeah.
Parade. Yep, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Anybody in the chats? Nobody's talking about these games, so we can move on to the next set of 4 games. These are kind of all over the place with Switch 1, Switch 2, some coming for both. So we saw Little Kitty Big City, the Picture Perfect update, is a free update that's dropping sometime this year for Switch 1. And so that wasn't a full new game, but it's an update to a game that's already out. And then also on Switch 2, we're getting a game called Content Warning. And just full disclosure, I watched this after the fact and I was kind of jumping through and I saw the little titles on the YouTube video and I go, is that an actual name of the game or is this just kind of a content warning for people that are underage or whatever? Nope, that's the actual name of the game. That's coming out sometime in 2026, again for Switch 2. And then for Switch 1 and Switch 2, we're getting a game called Ball Pit, though it's written out Ball X Pit or Ball Cross Pit, but they pronounced it Ball Pit, and that's dropping in sometime this fall for Switch 2, but specifically on October 15th, 2025 for Switch 1. And so Switch 1 gets an exact date right now. Switch 2 version is coming sometime this fall. My guess is they're putting the final touches on that still. And then again, another game for Switch 1 and Switch 2 is called Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. And that's dropping sometime this winter as well. So expect it probably in December sometime. And then a game for Switch 2 called Glaciered that's also dropping sometime this holiday, 2025. So got an update for Hello Kitty or Little Kitty Big City. We got content warning, Ball Pit, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, and Glaciered. They're going to be dropping all kind of vague dates, except for Ball Pit coming to Switch 1 on October 15th. So, Greg, any of those stand out to you?
Yeah, I did play through the Little Kitty Big City, so I don't know if like this update will have me go back to it, but that was pretty much the one of the larger takeaways because I did really enjoy that one. The Ultimate Sheep Raccoon did seem slightly interesting as well, but I don't know if I need a further trailer, but those are at least the main two that had stood out from the set.
Nice. Barry, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't much from this set, but I've heard good things about, Little Kitty Big City. Um, the one with the balls going all over the ball pit. That one could be fun because I like Arkanoid and Alleyway and stuff like that. So that's probably the closest, one that would have my excitement. Would I go out and buy it? No, but if I got a review code, I'd probably play it. And I do have to say, Ultimate Cheap Raccoon is one of those weird, like, named games and doesn't really describe what you're actually doing.
Mm-mm.
It's just like what should we name it? Let's throw our, darts at a board and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
looks,
it
and
kind of seems
it's
like a 2D like Fall Guys kind of thing, like where you're just kind of
yeah.
playing around having
It looks
fun.
like the Incredible Machine if you ever played that, where you get to build different things, but
Hmm.
with a little bit of Fall Guys kind of deal.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different games kind of thrown together. I've played uh, types of this game in a bunch of different ones. So yeah, it could be fun. We'll see how much it actually costs when it comes out. Um, but
And now that
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, now that the trailer was on screen, it reminded me that it's more like a it's like 99, so maybe that's why I was kind of
Mm,
interested in it.
yeah, yeah. I think probably of the ones that really stood out to me from this, and again, I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but Glacier looked cool. I think the concept behind it looks cool to be able to kind of have this entire game within an underwater kind of world. It looks interesting and everything. I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not, but it looks cool. Probably the one that really
Yeah.
grabbed my attention um, of these. And then we got a sizzle reel of a bunch of different games, and I'm just going to hit them real quick as well. Switch 2 is getting Winter Burrow sometime in winter, go figure, of 2025. And then Switch 1 is getting Undusted Letters from the Past in October of 2025. Switch 1 is also getting Tiny Bookshop on August 7th of 2025, so it's already out at the time of this recording. And then Switch One is also getting Caves of Cud or Quud. I can't remember if that's how they actually pronounced it. Sometime in winter 2025. Another game for Switch One is called Strange Antiquities. That's dropping on September 17th, 2025. Switch One and Switch Two is getting Opus Prism. Sorry, I'm going to say that again. Opus Prism Peak. Sometime this fall of 2025. Switch One is also getting Go Go Town in the spring of 2026. And again, another last game here, Switch One game, UFO 50, that dropped on August 7th. So it's already out at this time as well. So, Barry, of this last sizzle reel, any of those stand out to you?
Yeah, only one, which I can't believe it was just thrown to the sizzle reel, which is UFO 50. It's a game that like I would love to get review codes for. I've been debating even just I have the pre-order for the physical done, but I'm even been debating getting it digitally just to play it sooner because I love the idea. I love the story behind it. I love the whole Action 52, but it's like, oh, it's its own console and now it has its own games and the games aren't supposed to be great. They're not. They're little minor games, but it's like a what if, what if this existed, this console existed, and now you get to play these games, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Greg, how about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. The UFO 50 did seem kind of interesting, and then I also thought like Winter Burrow even looks like it could be kind of a little bit of fun too. But those are the only two that really stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like at this point of the showcase, I was like, meh. And that really kind of brings me into my overall thoughts. I was whelmed with the partner showcase. I was underwhelmed from the Indie World Showcase. This was not one of the ones that I walked away going, "Oh, that was pretty cool." I definitely wasn't thinking that was amazing. And for the most part, I was kind of bored during the Indie World Showcase. But again, that's just me. There's plenty of games that are exciting to other people that were out there, but for the most part, I was like, Well Dweller is probably the one that of all of the games that were shown off that stood out to me going, oh, that looks really cool. And the rest of them were just meh, not for me, not that cool, but a decent showcase nonetheless. But for just me personally, meh. Oh, Greg, what'd you think?
I kind of agree with you. I felt like it started super strong with both Mina and Well Dweller, and then it kind of fell off for me for the most part as well. I mean, there was like a few ups and downs as I went over before, but I felt like the two strongest ones were the ones that led off at the top.
Yeah, yeah. Barry, how about you?
I agree. I think it started off really strong, and obviously it ended strong for me with UFO 50. And in between, there was some interesting stuff for sure. What really got me was when I watched it. We did the sizzle reel, and they're like, "All right, and that's it." And I'm like, "What do you mean that's it?" Like
Yeah.
you always do a sizzle reel, you come back and you give one more announcement. That's just the way it goes. Like you're teasing us, right? Like you're I'm waiting for it. Like something's gonna happen. Here comes Silk Song. Here comes something else. Nope, nope, nope. But it's the video is stopped, but maybe there's still gonna be no. What Nintendo?
Yeah.
What? How could you not? You know what they could have done? They could have taken UFO 50 out of that and made that the one more thing, and not given it 5 seconds of screen time, because if you don't know what that is in a sizzle reel, you don't understand it. It
Sure.
just what is this game? You need to explain the whole story, and that's what sells the game. And I felt they did that game disservice. That should have been the one more thing, and instead we got nothing, and
Mhm.
that left me underwhelmed. That ending was a peter out in that regards.
Mhm.
There was some good games. I'm glad that a lot of indies got out there. I'm glad that some of them, like the devs, actually got to talk, which was always good
Mhm.
to see them like get to express themselves and get that type of attention. But yeah, it was underwhelming to whelming for
Yeah.
me overall.
Jakester in the chat says that sizzle reel was honestly when he tuned out because there was nothing that caught his attention, and ending with the sizzle reel is a weird idea. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I was thinking, wait, there's nothing else. You always end with one big thing at the end, or at least something at the end, rather than just a nope.
Sometimes
That's
they
that's
say
it.
these next two things will be the last two announcements or
Yeah.
something, but nothing. It just ended. And again, I think I would. I mean, I probably give the indie world like a C minus,
Mhm.
but I think it would get a C to a C plus if all they did was take UFO 50 out of that and made it one more thing and gave it some explanation, give it some time.
Mhm.
Because I guarantee you, people who tuned out the sizzle reel didn't pay attention to that game, and that's
Yeah.
doing that game a disservice.
Yep. Yeah. It allowed people to kind of meh, and then you ended meh. Like instead
Yeah.
of you could have built it up at the end and kind of rescued it a little bit. So,
I mean, like even in my notes, like I felt like I was kind of hard to see if like a number of the games felt like the clips were just so short. Like it was like
mhm.
5 seconds. Like you barely could tell like what the game is even about or what the
Yep.
gameplay is even gonna be. So I was like, how am I gonna say if I want this game or not when you give it like 2 seconds of screen time? So
Right. Yep.
like I
Yep. Don't even know if they're going to stand out to me or not because you didn't show me enough. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of our main discussion. We covered so much in this episode with all the different news that's been happening over the last several weeks since our break. We've got still more to talk about in this episode, especially the games that are going to be coming out over the next couple weeks. But just a reminder that we record every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Love to have you guys join us in the live chat as we record on both YouTube and Twitch. And share this and subscribe and do all those things. Hit the like button if you're watching it on YouTube as well. That'd be a huge help to us. Also, be sure to subscribe to us and follow us on social media and join our Discord and everything. We'd love to chat with you guys over there as well. But let's turn our attention to our next, the games that are going to be coming out over the next couple weeks. As per usual, we'll be scrolling those on the screen. So if you're watching the YouTube version, you can see all of those. They're going to be coming out. Compliments of the list on Metacritic's website that has Switch 1 and Switch 2 games over there. So I'll be scrolling those on the screen, but want to highlight just a few of the ones that stood out to me. And then we'll ask Greg and Barry what stood out to them. But August 13th, we're getting Fae Falling. And then August 14th, we're getting Drag and Drive, but also Madden 26. August 21st, we're getting Boulder Dash, the 40th anniversary. And if you're curious about that, we have an interview that Barry did. It's written up over on NintendoFuse.com. You can check out that interview with the developer there. And then right after the next episode that comes out on August 26th, right after that, we're getting on August 27th, we're getting Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. August 28th is Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition. And then on August 29th is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. So, Greg, any of those games or others stand out to you, or what are you going to be playing over the next couple weeks?
At least for what I'm gonna be playing will be more probably the last few game chat games I got, and then I did see that on my birthday that Shantae Advance is coming out. I've always been interested to check out that series, and it seems like that's something that's gonna be a lot of fun there. So that might be like a birthday present to myself. But I think that was pretty much one of the main ones that I saw there for me to check out from the set.
Nice. Barry, how about you? What have you been playing, or what will you be playing?
Oh, back to the top of the show. Okay, so yeah, my goal is to finish 100 days Last Defense Academy, and hopefully we'll get some review codes for Boulder Dash 40th anniversary. I'm looking forward to that. I loved that as a kid growing up. And my next big game that I plan to do is Kirby Forgotten Land, which I 100% did, but I'm interested in the new content and seeing how that goes. And Shinobi potentially as well right after that. And if I finish 100 days in time, like, with some time to spare, there's some eShop games that I've gotten and I was, wanted smaller games that I want to check out. So I might boot those up. It depends on what I have to do for work and when I'm playing. Like I'm playing another game right now that I can't talk about for work, and I've been very busy with several games for work in regards to that. So, and then it involves life, so it depends on how much time I do have. But
Yeah.
that's the plan.
Nice. Yeah,
For all I know, I could still be playing 100 days.
There you go. Yeah. For me, I mean, Donkey Kong, I'm going to continue playing that. And then, yeah, I really do want to get over to Yakuza and Split Fiction at some point. But again, it's so hard to set aside time for games that I know are gonna I'm gonna need to sink time in, and I have had very little time for that kind of thing recently, and I don't think anything's gonna change within the next couple weeks. So we'll see what I
Very
actually am
busy
able to
man.
finish. I've been flying all over the place, and that's gonna die down a little bit in September, and then I'll be doing it again throughout October and November. So, but it's been. I have noticed that it is traveling. This thing is so much bigger Switch 2 than the Switch 1. That Switch 1 kind of fit in my backpack nice and easy. It didn't take up much space at all. And that Switch 2 really takes up a lot of space in my backpack now. And so I'm able to do it, but I can't pack as neatly around the Switch 2 as I did the Switch 1. So I've been hauling it around, and it's much bigger. But and Jakester says in the chat he's definitely skipping Drag and Drive. I don't know why. So yeah. Next episode is going to be coming out on August 26th, or it's going to be recording on August 26th, 2025. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be taking a little, in the middle of my other travels and everything. My wife and I are taking a little vacation. And so Barry and Greg should be here holding down the fort without me. So looking forward to checking out your guys' episode without me. But yeah, that's when the next one's going to be recorded. So hopefully you guys can join us again, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, when we record that both on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, Greg, I said I was going to be traveling for some work and vacation. Anything big coming up in your world over the next couple weeks?
Well, I did kind of say that in the last bit there with the upcoming games, but my birthday is actually going to be on the 19th, so I'll be definitely celebrating for that, both like with family and like my wife and daughter and everything. So she'll also be going back to school a few days after my birthday, so that's gonna be starting up there too. So it's certainly like the summertime's all winding down, and especially now that I have a job search to be throwing on there too to get that done ASAP. So I hope I can find some recruiters and get past this application stage.
Nice. Hire Greg. Contact him right away. Offer him a job. Barry, what are you going to be doing over the next couple weeks?
Obviously working and taking care of the little one, and unfortunately, as people get older, my father is now not doing as well, and he's got a little bit of dementia starting to form, and a little confusion, and probably having to take a trip or two to Pennsylvania to help him out and get everything finalized and situated and kind of take over for him, which is never fun and not something I look forward to doing. But it's just part of life as we all get older. But hopefully, I have some time to play and have some fun too.
Yeah.
You need that. You need a balance.
Yeah. Is he the same one that's been playing like Madden and like Switch 2, or is
That's my father-in-law.
that your okay?
He's younger. He's younger, so
Okay.
they had my wife when they were young, and my dad had me when he was old. Yeah, but then again, I had my son when I was older than my dad had me. So I'm gonna be this. I'm putting my son in the same thing in 40 years.
Right. Yeah. In only 40 years you're gonna be in there?
Yep, 40 years.
All right, we need your kid to take over before that happens. So.
I can see it now. Junior, start dusting my game collection right now.
Damn right.
Well, I hope you guys have a great episode next time without me. I'll be thinking about you guys when I'm at Glacier National Park with my wife and kind of hanging out and seeing some cool sights.
And when are you gonna take a vacation over to New York, huh?
Maybe during FIFA World Cup. We'll see. I still got to look into that. They've yet to give me opportunity to buy tickets. I know that other people have had it, but I don't know why they've not told me I can buy tickets yet. So.
Yeah, no. If you wind up getting tickets, that will save you a ton of because lodging is going to be insane. I'll tell you that.
For sure. So we'll see. Well, thanks for being here for this episode. Again, next episode will be recording live on August 26th. Hopefully you guys can make it out live. If not, you can check it out on the recordings after the fact on YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. But of course, Greg, Barry, it's been great talking with you guys about games. It's been too long, a month and a half off. So it's great to be back.
What's
And
your fault?
it is true. It is true. Like, all that being said, thanks guys for joining us in the chat, joining us live. We'll catch you next time. Happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.